melodrama and eventual tragedy. Once more, these stories of ending were not under authorial intent, but pressure from publishers. Keiko Takamine has been very, very outspoken about yaoi and its relationship with feminism in particular. She has once again confirmed that publishers were the ones being like, no, you can't have a happy ending, you have to have a tragedy. Though, knowing her other work, she probably had been a tragic ending anyways. So melodramatic.
It's fine.
It's fine. I love her. She's adorable. She's been one of the forefront artist creators speaking up about the relationship between yaoi and feminism in Japan. So we'll talk about this slide. Unlike Yuri, yaoi is largely being very formulaic in its content in modern era, which is why I can't find a lot of good male gay relationships portrayed in anime that isn't just the same yaoi anime you've all seen 100 times or so. One of the ones we talked about last year was clearly different, Yuri on Ice, which everyone should see. We're not going to talk about it.
Even for not the gay content.
Yeah, it's just a good anime. It's just a good series, but it also broke away from the stagnant stereotypes of the umbrella of yaoi, I should say. So it did a very good job with this. What has changed, however, our perspective towards yaoi with the seemingly unending debate of whether it is a valid expression of feminism and homosexuality or if depictions of homosexuality as material to be fetishized by largely straight women is inherently homophobic. Where do we stand on this? I don't know. I have switched sides on this multiple times because it feels like more and more there isn't a real easy solution to the quantity of who yaoi is for and whether or not it's inherently harmful. I, for one, am kind of taking the live and let live approach because what we're going to talk about in the next slide, this stuff exists for me anyways, even if yaoi doesn't necessarily do so. And, you know, if you know anything about feminism in Japan, finding stuff that appeals to female sexuality is very difficult as it is, so to trample on, even if it's kind of exploitative at the end of the day, it's not about something that is definitely a good outlet for female sexuality in Japan. I kind of don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Isn't there the autobiographical manga that talks about that?
Yes.
Yes.
We will talk about that.
Okay, great. I just can't remember the title.
As far as the for us bias stuff is concerned, we have gay komi. While yaoi as a depiction of male homosexual largely intended for created by women, gay komi, say ego term for gay comics who do not know your Japanese terminology, would say ego is essentially a borrowed term from the West that has a very specific meaning in Japan. So it's not like no one is going to say gay komi and say, oh, I actually just meant happy comics. No, it means very specifically this. And it doesn't necessarily mean comics containing gay content. It means very specifically that kind of comic. It is entirely made for and by gay men. The term is a bit broader and initially apparent, given that while a lot of gay komi stories are sexually explicit, thematic elements therein can vary pretty widely. The most popular gay komi published in the popular gay magazine G-Men. We're going to be talking about a non-sexually explicit gay komi later in the panel. So
those are kind of hard to find.
They're kind of hard to come by, but they do exist. And we can't talk about gay komi and not talk about this guy. How many people have heard of Gengaro Takame?
A good few.
Well, I'm going to tell you people who haven't heard about him. He is by a mile, the most well-known name in the gay komi genre. Super prolific. Gengaro Takame has had his works published internationally, exhibited in galleries. He's one of the most critically acclaimed and prolific gay erotic artists since Thomas Finland. If you don't know who Thomas Finland is, look him up, but not while you're at work. or around other people. Who, don't
would judge you for that sort of thing.
If they get it, they're cool. Look it up. If you don't know any other name in gay comics, you should very least know his. He is very much the most biggest name in gay comics. But if you're looking for a few other creators in gay comics, Massive is an anthology of works that profiles various gay comic artists including Takeshi Matsu, Fumi Miyabi, Inuyoshi, Guy Misaki, Jiraiya, who that's his art up there. Jiraiya draws adorably fluffy men. Seizo Ebisudashi, Kazuhide Tsukala. They're all very big names in gay komi. I think among them, Jiraiya and Takeshi Matsu are probably the ones that you're going to mostly find works from here in the West. It was published in the US, and you can bring your own copies. The Fantagraphics have been a huge factor in exposing the gay comic artists in the Western world. It's a who's who of the genre and must have for collectors. It's coffee table size.
Unless you're.
So you definitely want to make sure this is on display where people get it.
Because otherwise, you're gonna have some questions.
Otherwise, you're gonna have a coffee table full of gay erotica out, and your mom's gonna visit. She's like, "Honey, what's this?" And you're not gonna know how to answer.
You're just gonna know.
You're just gonna sit there and sweat nervously.
You just pick it up and walk off with it, never come back.
Like you're behind yourself.
What are you talking about? Before we go further, we have to talk about the term bara. This is still a term people throw around pretty loosely. And these are excerpts from an interview with Gegoro Takane, conducted by Gay Manga, a tabloid that has been around for several years now, basically cataloging and creating spaces for gay manga to be published in the U.S. They're the guys that work with Fantagraphics to get massive published in the U.S., so they know what they're doing. It's not a word it's not a word Japanese people use, obviously. The gays don't use it, and it definitely is a foreigner's term for us. You walk us through the terms, many transmutations, its origin as a hetero slur, some residual fancy. I would actually say it's quite a bit worse than that, to the point where you would definitely probably get beat up if you used it in Japan. Just saying. It's radically reappropriated by the Japanese gay media in the 1960s and early 70s, evident in the titles of magazines, manga, and soku.
It's a good panel.
Its eventual expiration commenced an politicized discourse surrounding homosexuality in the 80s and 90s, which is why it's so weird for them to hear us using it. And its recent misappropriation by Western internet circles is a term for gay manga. It's called gay comic. It's not called bara. Bara is not a term that's used for. Bara was just the name of the magazine it's published in, and it just sort of stuck in the West. He says, the word has come back to life, unfortunately. I have to say personally, I'm sort of against it. I don't call my own word bara, and I don't like it being called bara because it's a very negative word that comes with bad connotations. And he would just prefer if you use the term gay manga, or like we said earlier, gay manga. He's kind of come around on this in recent years, because I guess he realized despite his protests, he's not really going to get people in the West to stop using it. But at the very least, you should not be calling people bara. It is an insult. You mean it cutesy and everything, but talk about your big bara daddy on Tumblr, kind of a jerk. So I'm not going to police people too heavily, but it's definitely one of those situations where
if we can tell you about the connotation behind the language, we're going to tell you. After that, you can make your own decisions.
it's not that hard to drop a word from your vocabulary, even if you don't personally understand why it's offensive. But it is offensive to the people that are creating this content that you're digesting. So have some respect for them and don't use it. That's all I can say. I can't make anyone do anything. It's just one of those things.
I'm downstairs right now. I went there just looking at one of the panels.
I don't think you realize how loud he was being. Another issue that's unique to the West that we gotta talk about. Everyone say it with me now. Shippings and headcanons are not representation. Boy, some people do not understand this. If it puts it in any context, I used to have a picture of Voltron up here, but now I feel bad because the main character's canonically gay. But that still doesn't make shipping him with the other characters a form of representation. Whether it's within presented text, imagery, or through word of God, aka creator commentary, representation cannot exist without creative authority. That's an important term to understand. Creative authority. Someone who has worked on the product has had to have made it clear in the text, or in interviews, or some other way that something is meant to be clear content. Because otherwise you are drawing your own conclusions, and you're getting into things like coding, and it gets way more complicated, and it's just not actual representation. It's fine to do shipping. Lord knows I do a lot. My boyfriend, who was just sitting here, is cosplaying Gilgamesh. I'm cosplaying Kirin. Familiar fake. We're shippy assholes, alright? Whoops, I said a curse. But it's fine to do it. It's just, you have to understand, it's great for indulgent storytelling in which film. It's not actual representation. It should not be put on the same social pedestal as actual representation. That is misleading at best. And a friend of mine put it this way, and I can't agree more. It's giving creators credit for work they didn't do. you're giving them all the points for mileage they didn't walk. Like, don't do that. Make them meet us. Don't give them, don't throw them a bone. Anyways, now we're on to the new part of the panel. Hooray! The relatively new faces representation of mainstream manga and anime. Just like last year, we reviewed 4 different anime with queer content within them that were released sometime between when we did this last year and today. The review considered for this that were not finished. Starlight Review and Banana Fish were on my list, but they were not finished by the time this panel came around. I would not have been able to have time to review them properly. I still recommend check them out, but we're not going to be able to get into depth with them until either AGCon or next year, whenever we do this again.
At the very least, I know with the manga for Banana Fish, it gets intense.
Yeah,
so
I kind of know what's going to go happen, but I want to know how the anime handles
severe
it.
warning if you decide to read Banana Fish.
Anyways, the first series we're looking at is Konohana Kitan, based on the manga by Saki Amano, adapted for. Isn't one of the main characters also named Saki?
You watched it, not me.
I just noticed this. Is she herself answered? Huh.
Sure, why not?
Anyways, moving on. Adapted for animation by Lurche, which is a studio that pretty much did nothing before this, so they were relatively new to the game. Konohana Kitan is a series largely about a Kitsune girl named Yuzu. She's adorable. She takes on employment at an in-between the real world and the spiritual one. That word.
Do I need to come over there?
I kept starting it and not finishing. Excuse me. The series is very slice of lifestyle weaving together a series of Japanese myths and fairy tales for its background story. Yuzu and the other girls that work at the end deal with the daily struggles of working at the end and the lessons pulled from these legends. It's super cute. Does it hold up? The pros are character relationships are well developed, and you're given good reason to believe they care for one another, particularly 2 of the side characters, our pink-haired girl and her brown girlfriend there. Super cute, feel good, low stakes. There are some cons to it. Mild fan service, of course, no fan service is a major turn off for some people. There are several scenes of near nakedness in this. It's not really presented with what, until the last few episodes, I should say, with what might be considered traditionally the male gaze of how the camera moves around the body or emphasizes certain parts. There are a few incidents of that, but they're few and far between and not that bothersome. Character designs may read very young, despite most of them not being so. That's also a turn on for some people. They just, to not, to lacking a better term, they just don't like the moe shit. You know what I'm talking about. Okana stereotypes in episode 11. I'm never comfortable when that rolls around.
Yeah,
if you don't understand what that means, you can ask it later in the question and answer portion. We'll explain as best we can what's going on there. And in the time the anime ran, the main couple never really gets together despite some touch points. So it's kind of frustrating that they never really become a solid item like you expect in a series like this. Pink-haired girl and brown-haired girl, they're definitely are. But the 2 main characters, Yuzu and Saki, they don't quite cross that line. But it's good. I recommend it, especially if you like cute, mindless fluff.
It's
really
very
cute.
mindless. I fell asleep.
I was worried you might be stuck in it. What an immortal line. Became a meme very briefly. Citrus. Oh boy. I knew I was going to have to talk about this one. Adapted for animation by Passione, a studio named after a group in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. What a great little factoid. Hooray for part 5 getting adapted for anime, by the way. Excuse me. Saburota's Yuri manga Citrus is about a Gyaru-type, fun-loving, carefree girl, Yuzu, another character named Yuzu.
I guess it's a lot less than Yuzu.
Well, it's literally called Citrus.
I know.
I mean,
Don't mind me.
Who, despite lying to her friends about it, has never actually experienced love or romance in any way. When transferring to a new school, she comes across the stern and cold student council president May. As it turns out, they're now stepsisters. That's the big twist. And May's strange behavior towards Yuzu leads to some romantic shenanigans. This is the one I was kind of dreading looking at because this is probably, non-Darling in the Franxx division, the most controversial bit of queer content we've had in anime this season. very controversial because, yes, they are stepsisters, and the struggle between whether or not you should be a good sister to May or be her lover is one of the central conflicts of the entire series. You will not be able to get away from it. Doesn't hold up. The relationship is 100% explicit. They make out the OP. There's no batting around the bush here. They're gay. Deal with it. Likeable characters. It's easy to become invested in this story, no matter how stupid it gets.
Oh, it's very dumb.
And there is some cutting commentary, at least in the anime version. This wasn't necessarily in the manga, at least in the anime, about the phase of experimental lesbianism among school boys and how Yuzu thinks that's a load of donkey. I'm trying not to cuss. It's so hard.
We're tired and
Baloney.
Cons, there's lots of forced kissing and other forms of sexual assault, especially in the first episode.
God,
if you're uncomfortable with that, you will be uncomfortable with this entire series.
I was.
It never gets better. Literally deploys problematic and at times trashy shoujo romance tropes. When I first started watching this, I'm like, this reminds me a bit of Peach Girl.
It's gonna remind you
Goes
a
on,
lot.
it's gonna remind you a lot of Peach Girl. Especially because I really hope you like love triangles. Every major arc in this series is about a love triangle. As far as recommending it, like if you can get past the stupid sister nonsense and some of the forced kissing, it's not a bad watch, but it
also depends on how well
not deep. It's not. It is a trashy shoujo series, and there's a place in the world for those. Lord knows, Tokyo Pop cornered the market on that in the manga world in the early 2000s. There was a million of them.
You have to have a good tolerance for melodrama because my God, everything is a crisis.
It is super melodramatic.
I don't have the kind of patience. I don't have that patience.
Lesbian's life is dramatic.
I mean, maybe that's accurate, but especially the love triangles part.
Fair.
So I wouldn't necessarily say it's bad, but it's definitely not. It should be on a pedestal. It is what it is, and if you like that kind of thing, you'll love this. Personally, it's a little different. Anyways, moving on. Boy, this is a big one. An adaptation of Go the Guy's Devilman, directed by legendary director at this point, Masaaki Yuasa, who has done amazing work in animation. If you don't know anything else, you definitely look up his works. He is amazing.
Theaters recently.
If you're one of those anime fans who's never heard of Devilman, which what rock have you been living under? It stars Akira, an empathetic and caring boy who is dragged into a dangerous world of devils by his friend Rio, because Rio loves him so much he wants to use him as his fucking
Well, that too.
That's a chord to swear jar. Puts him in a situation he becomes possessed by the powerful demon Amon, becoming the titular Devilman who struggles in a war for the fate of the earth. Devilman was originally written in the 60s, and there are times where it definitely feels like it, though this series updated it to a modern era and put more of a modern spin on the typical Go Nagai art style. And it changes a lot just from the adaptation